of a bitch.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Caught.
And this is what's happening in our country.
Caught! We all just got fucking caught, man. Oh yeah, sorry, that was a load of,
Oh, shit!
But, hey everyone, that's the usual here in America. But hello, welcome back. It's been a while. Welcome back to another episode of Phantasy Star Online Blue Burst, or episode 1 and 2. They're kind of interchangeable unless you play episode 4, basically. But let me be the first to say that, to welcome our new, now complete, oligarchical, corporate totalitarian regime into power today, as it is January 20th, 2025, Inauguration Day. And I remember I said that I made the declaration on January 1st that it marked, that day marked the beginning of the war to decide humanity's future, or humanity's destiny, its fate, how things were going to end, or if humanity was going to keep going or not. I should have saved that declaration for today, honestly. I should have saved it for today and maybe even renamed it to something more simplified, like calling it the war against death itself, the war against death and extinction itself, basically. Because that is what humanity is now facing starting today. Honestly, started a long time ago, but today it's pretty official now. So, yeah, like I said, today marks the end. We say goodnight to democracy, what little was left of democracy in the United States of America, and probably the rest of the world, forever. And hello to our new, complete corporate, totalitarian, oligarchical regime, and our billionaire overlords. Now, that being said, we should mark this occasion by starting the first part of Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 Hard Mode. So let's do that. What is this? Oh, sorry, a weird pop-up came up as I was saying that. Nothing relevant. Anyway, yeah, so we should start Hard Mode, but before we start Hard Mode for Phantasy Star Online, if you guys remember how last stream ended, with that whole mess at the final boss at the end of episode 2, I found out that I was lied to. Probably not intentionally. In fact, I think there's a very good explanation for this. I was lied to about the strategy and the more so the mechanics of the boss itself, which in a pretty big way, if I'd known about this, it would have changed the strategy completely, which I then did. And you can actually, like, I actually completed the fight. You can actually complete the fight without using a single escape though, without dying once. Pretty easily, actually, at level 29, 30, whatever. I just did it off stream not that long ago. So let me log in real quick and I'll explain what the fuck I'm talking about. So I made a classic character, a classic version of Vaughn, basically. Like I said I was going to. 65 hours in, I recompleted episode 1 and 2, all the quests exactly the same as the other character. Yeah, I said I was gonna do that because when you play the classic version of the game like this, with the the character with the blue name on it, you play on the Diva Loca server, and that one actually shows you the actual cutscenes and dialogue as it's supposed to for the single-player mode of the storyline. For the storyline of the single-player mode, unlike when you play on the normal, like, US Fadra server, where I've been playing the normal character. So that was the first thing I did. You actually get to see the intro and the epilogue with the credits and everything, and all the cutscenes in between, which I found out as I went through episode 1. We actually missed kind of a semi-important scene with a few of Red Ring Rico's capsules we didn't even get to see on my first playthrough because they don't show up on the Fadra server, because the way the Fadra server plays out, as we found out before, even if you choose to play one-person mode, a single-player mode essentially, it still puts you into like a pseudo multiplayer version of the game, so it doesn't play the cutscenes as it's supposed to, and it unlocks all the areas for you without any like actual story progress in the way the game sort of perceives that. Oh yeah, all the Christmas decorations are gone because obviously Christmas is over. They did a maintenance on January 12th and it was gone. Let me go into... I just finished episode 2. Yeah, let me just go here for now. I want to check something else now. I forgot to check this off stream actually. Key to the heart. Okay, so this is available for a single... Okay, good. Good, thank God. But I still might not be able to do that. I actually might have to. In fact, you know what? Let's check right now. Because I was gonna show a video that I have recorded off. So here, can I actually start it? We read this before. Can I actually start it or no? Yes. Okay, cool. Well, we'll do this in a sec. Or try it. I don't think we're actually gonna beat it. And the thing is, we have to try it on this character because I don't know what the hell I just said, but I'm just gonna back out and reset the quest anyway, so it doesn't matter. Her new outfit is way better. I like that they kept her ponytail from the first episode. Ellie, I mean. Anyway, let me get rid of this. Yeah. Good to know you can do that in one-person mode. And I'm getting ahead of myself because I checked that at the last second. I'll explain what I mean by that. Let me just go in here and silence the background music real quick, as well as the sound effects. There you go. Now let me change... Oh, not that. Let me pull up the video and explain what I meant about the end of last stream. How I said I was lied to and all that. I'm mostly just having some fun, but it's actually true. Again, I don't think it was intentional and with malicious intent, so I'm not gonna, like, you know, harp too much on it, but... What is this? Very loud. Let me turn this down. Like 50%. Still peaking quite a bit, so I'm gonna put it there. There we go, much better. So I'm not having a fight over it. Alright, so this is a recording from just a little while ago. This is when I just beat episode 2. With this version of Vaughn, the one I just logged into, that is the classic mode version. What I was gonna mention while showing this is that if you guys remember, phase 2 is the one that kept killing me, right? I lost all my escape dolls on the other version of my character. I lost all my escape dolls, but I didn't have too many. I probably could have brute forced it and actually won the first try if I'd had more, you know? Even just one more probably would have been enough. However, I then later found out a strategy, literally just from watching two of the videos. Two videos from two different series that I pulled from to pull up like the credits last time we played, as well as that one walkthrough we were watching to fill in the cutscenes that we weren't seeing. The cutscenes and dialogue with the people at the lab and all that stuff. I watched how he fought Floen at the end, because he's actually using my character. The other playthrough, the one that I used to show the credits last time, was a ranger character, so they were using a sniper rifle. And there's a reason that character, as well as the other player playing the same class and race that I am, were able to beat it flawlessly with, like... Well, the guy who played as my character, he had to use escape doll. He did fuck up once. But there's a reason that they were able to beat it and I was not able to, and it's because I got bad information. The game fact guide, this doesn't apply for this phase of the fight. This whatever, you know, this is just, you know, shoot him or hit him when he's up close, you know, pull out a melee weapon, but mostly just shoot him because he's never in melee range. He's like 1% of the time, right? But I got bad information about the second phase, and I think just for the sake of brevity, you know, to speed things up, I'll go ahead and just skip to that. But because I'm about to explain it, I might as well show it while explaining it, what the problem is. So in this phase... Too far. Okay. So in this phase, the game fact I was reading, which is the most recommended one, and it's from back in the day when the game was relevant in the mid to early 2000s. There's a huge mistake in it, and I will explain my theory on why it's there and why it persisted. There's a huge mistake in the game fact I was following where it says that his most powerful attack, the one that kept one-shotting me, you guys remember the one that kept killing me basically? Used up all my escape dolls and then I couldn't beat him. So I switched over to the sandbox account and just beat him like that or whatever. It said that when he does that powerful attack that was one-shotting me, which I don't know the official name of it, the game fact doesn't say either. It says that it cleaves half the arena. And that the best way to avoid it is to either just not be on that half of the arena or kill the ads. And I tried to kill the ads, but, and obviously we don't see this here, but if you look back at my previous attempt, my previous stream where I died a bunch of times, I was trying to use the scythe to hit them, and I could only do that if these worms, the ads, the giant worms were like at just the right distance from me, but as soon as they got too close and they were like above my head, I couldn't, it doesn't matter how I swung the scythe, it just didn't hit them. It didn't reach. Like it had, that's the attack right there. And that's exactly where I was going with this. He says it cleaves half the arena. This charge up he's doing right here, right? Well, pay attention to what actually happens. It literally just hit two lasers, one where he is, where Floen is, and one where this ad that I didn't kill is. It's called Gale. And that's it. And one more laser would have landed on the other one if I hadn't killed it. But that's it. It's just 3 lasers, and they land wherever the two main ads are, the 2 Gales, and Floen himself is. That's it. It doesn't cleave half the fucking arena like that game fact says. Not even close. It literally just sends 3 lasers, and that's it. No more. Just on those spots, wherever the enemies are. So if you stay far away, like I just did, like what you just saw me do, you don't even get hit, even if both of the ads are alive. Because one of them likes to stay next to him. The other one comes at you when he starts charging that attack, but if you're far away enough, it won't get to you in time, like you just saw. And so, that's it. You can just pull out, if you're a ranger, pull out a sniper rifle and just kill him from far away. Do what I'm doing, but you can actually shoot him from further away, and you won't miss half the time like I am, because I'm a hunter, not a ranger. So you'll kill him faster. And yeah, that attack does a lot of damage, but it doesn't one-shot you, ever. Because it's just one hit. The reason the other attack one-shots you, the one I just demonstrated, the reason that one one-shots you is literally, or can one-shot you, is because it can stack and they all hit at the same time. I mentioned this briefly before, but if 2 or more enemies happen, they just happen, this is very rare for it to happen, if they just happen to synchronize their attack animations at the same time, you will get hit by both at the same time and take, obviously, twice as much damage, and usually that's fatal if you're playing on an appropriate difficulty. This is one of those attacks where it always synchronizes. All 3 lasers, or however many there are when he does this attack, see in this case 2 because I killed that one, I wouldn't have died here basically if I was at full health, because only the laser from this guy right here would have hit me, and that's it. The one from the ad I just killed, if I hadn't killed him, only that one would have hit me, and it would have left me at, like, you know, a little bit of HP, just like we saw in my previous attempt, because I'm basically the same level, more or less. It wouldn't have killed me. If I was standing underneath Floen, though, and I hadn't killed either of the ads, both of the ads would have floated over me, and then Floen himself is right there, so all 3 lasers would have hit me at once, doing 3 times as much damage, which is basically completely unsurvivable. That's what was killing me. Long story short, that is what was killing me, is that I was getting hit by all 3 or even just 2 lasers at the same time because I was standing too close to Floen or too close to 1 or 2, usually both of the ads, because I was trying to kill them using the Soul Eater, and I couldn't because it has no vertical range and they float too high. The trick the entire time was literally to just use a long-range weapon, like a sniper. I tried different ones, like I used a sandbox. I used my sandbox account to just be able to teleport straight here without going to the entire final dungeon, and tried different ranged weapons that a hunter like me can use. I can't use sniper rifles, obviously, or shotguns or launchers or anything like that. They're not really shotguns, they shoot like arrows, but, you know, whatever. All I can use was a pistol and a submachine gun, basically. The submachine guns didn't really work because they're very short range. Since they're meant to do more DPS, they're very short range. I might as well have just kept using the death scythe, essentially. So that was useless and got me killed. And realized my only option was literally the pistol, because the pistol is medium range and the sniper rifle is long range. So the longest range weapon that a hunter like me could use is literally the pistol. So yeah, at this point I was like, look, the ads are inactive. They get grayed out on the map. I have to turn off my... Okay, let me rewind a little bit. When he calls them back, they actually get grayed out on the map. Hey, look at them. You see the two little dots around his big one, right? They're on his shoulders and they're not doing anything, so he can't do his attack right now. The one that like one-shots you, or can. And now they're active again and they're coming back down to try and chase me. So at this point, it's just run away again. And this is pretty much the battle right here. Like, if you just want to get through this without a single escape doll, or even if you have them but you just want to try to get through it flawlessly, this is all you have to do. Literally just run away from him. When the camera pans up like this, he's charging up that attack. See, look. 3. I hadn't killed a single ad. According to that game fact, he was going to cleave half the arena. And what does he do? He only cleaves those 3 spots. And that's it. Like, if I had noticed this during my attempts, I could have actually beat him without switching to my sandbox account, which is exactly what happens here. Like, I could have beat him easily if I'd known, if I didn't have that misinformation from the game fact. And so here's my theory. I think the reason that game fact was, like, is one of the most popular and most recommended ones, but yeah, obviously from way back when the game was relevant in the mid to early 2000s, I think the reason that game fact was, like, the writer never corrected what he wrote about it cleaving half the arena or whatever. Like, the reason that misinformation is there and no one corrected him is because I think back then, literally nobody bothered to learn the mechanics of this boss and form an actual strategy around it, like this. Like, oh, kill the ads and stay away from him and them by using a long-range weapon. Like, basically, don't even use close-range weapons even if you're a hunter. Just do this. And I think the reason nobody figured that out is because back in the GameCube Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2 days, there was a duplication glitch that I briefly mentioned that when I first started playing this game that allowed you to duplicate any item in your inventory. Any. I think there was very few exceptions to this. And basically everybody just duplicated or farmed out legit, I doubt it, escape dolls and brute forced the hell out of this boss. And my evidence for this is that I looked at the YouTube comments for one of the videos that I saw for this. The guy who was showing the cutscenes and stuff that we saw to fill in the blanks. When I saw his final video, because it was a playlist of 10-minute videos, because it was back in the old YouTube days when you couldn't make a video longer than 15 minutes or whatever, or 11 minutes. See, it's just the lasers only land on the enemies and on the flow-in, and that's it. So if you're not standing near them, you're fine. Yeah, he fucked up and got killed once and lost the escape doll, but then for the rest, he did pretty much what I was doing and he won just fine. And so somebody in his comments, this is my evidence for how I know nobody figured out the mechanics of this boss fight and they just brute forced it with escape dolls. There was somebody in his comments who said, holy shit, you're level 29. He beat him at level 29. You're level 29 and a hunter and you actually defeated Floen. He didn't say flawlessly because he saw him use the escape doll, but he said, you actually defeated Floen. He said, I know so many level 200s that even on normal difficulty, which is this is normal, go through so many escape dolls just to kill this guy, and you only used one, and you defeated him, like, almost flawlessly, because you only ended up using one or whatever. He's like, you're amazing, you're like the best player ever. Nobody thumbs up his comment, nobody else replied to his comment saying he was right, because I think most people eventually figured out there is an actual strategy. I think most people figured out there is an actual strategy to beat this guy. And so that's why nobody corroborated. But the fact that that guy commented that and the fact that that game fact I talked about never had a correction for, oh, by the way, this doesn't actually cleave half the arena like I thought. You know, practicing the fight, I realized it only hits the ads and himself. It tells me that that's what everybody did back then. When this game was relevant, everybody just literally duplicated escape dolls and just brute force the hell out of it. And I'm pretty sure that's what I did back in the day too, which is why I also didn't know the mechanics. And when you're playing multiplayer, I mean, even if you don't have that many escape dolls, you have your friends that can revive you with moon atomizers and yada yada, so that makes it infinitely easier. So I think there's just, people just didn't bother learning and nobody bothered correcting the guy. on his information for his guide, saying, hey, your strategy or whatever is all fucking wrong. Or your strategy is all fucking wrong for flowing. It doesn't cleave half the arena. The lasers literally just land on the ads and him, and you can beat him easily, which is exactly what happens here. Like, I've been showing most of this entire fight. I didn't die once on the elevator, and I mean, you just saw me do this fight here. And I decided to end it all fancy. I was like, fuck it, this'll kill him with his own fucking ability. The light pillar or whatever. Take this, asshole.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Just like that.
You son of a bitch.
Not a single scape doll used. This just happened like before I started my stream, like literally half an hour ago. Didn't use a single scape doll. And it's not my sandbox account because you can see my name is in gold here. So no like extra buffs. I literally, that's it. It was that easy. If I didn't have bad information from that GameFAQ guide, I literally could have beat this that night easily without having to switch over to the sandbox account and go through like half a dungeon again. Which then I realized like later I could have just teleported straight to the boss. I didn't even have to do that. I wasted so much goddamn time. This was just last stream. Which for me was 2 weeks ago, but for you guys watching on YouTube, that's literally like, oh, that's the last video, the previous video, right? So it's more fresh for you guys probably, but yeah. That was it. Okay, I'm just collecting the fucking loot and then getting out of here. But, yeah, and see, the music doesn't play, it doesn't show that cheesy, you're the hero bullshit portrait screen where it shows, you know, the 4 slots for all characters because it thinks it's the multiplayer version. The Diva Loco server actually plays the story properly. It says epilogue here instead of taking you back to Pioneer 2. And it plays the credits like it's supposed to. And there it is. There you have it. It was that easy. That's how easy it is to defeat him without using any escape dolls or any kind of brute force method. That's it. All I needed to know was that that laser attack of his doesn't actually cleave half the arena like that stupid GameFAQ told me it did. And like a lot of other people from the community way back then probably thought it did too. Like, they didn't bother learning the mechanics because they didn't have to. They just cheated. Like, everybody just cheated with escape dolls. They just duplicated them and then just brute forced this boss. And everybody thought he was way harder than he actually was, including that guy who wrote that comment. But no. Nope. That was it. It's that easy. The actual strat to defeat him, as you can see right there, no matter what class or race you're playing. I mean, I guess as a force you can use magic from far away and that'll provide the same result, but you know, you'll have to be using technique points or whatever, but that's fine too, right? But otherwise, if you're any other class like me, like a hunter, the actual strategy to defeat Floen flawlessly, like you don't even have to die once if you do it like I just demonstrated, the actual strategy is to fucking grab a gun and get to fucking shooting. And that's it. You just gotta get to fucking blasting. You gotta pull out, you gotta Second Amendment his ass and turn him into Swiss fucking cheese. And that's it.
Son of a bitch.
That's it. That's literally it. You just have to Second Amendment his ass. Smoke him and send him straight to fucking Broadway. That's literally it. You just gotta get fucking heated. That's it. It was that simple. And to think I could have figured it, I could have found that out if I had just watched the video of the other guy defeating it, the guy whose videos we were already watching for the cutscenes. I could have figured that out if I had just looked at that instead of thinking that the GameFAQ actually knew what it, the GameFAQ writer, the guide I was using, the written one, actually knew what the fuck he was talking about when he obviously didn't. And so then I just gave up and switched over to the sandbox account for no reason. Such a shame. But yeah, there it is. So that's how you beat him. No matter what level. I mean, obviously you have to be able to withstand his other attack if you can't dodge it perfectly, the one where he swings the sword and the shockwaves go out. But outside of that, like, that's the strat right there. If you're at a reasonable level like I am, you know, 29, 30, you're playing on normal, just fucking, just blast him. Oh, and yeah, don't worry about the piece that I pulled out. That's just a toy. But yeah. This the heat. Okay, this is just a toy. But yeah, seriously, that's literally all we had to do. We just had to pull out a fucking piece and smoke them. It's that easy. It's kind of a shame though. It's like you're fighting some guy who has a reputation for being like a legendary swordsman and military dude, and he's a mutated monster version of that now. You know, with Dark Falz's fucking genes infecting him, and he's fused to an AI. And the fight just turns into fucking popping him from far away like that. And that's it. It's like the most anticlimactic thing ever. I mean, the combat system in this game is pretty outdated. They can't shit on it too much, but I feel like the Dark Falz fight from episode 1, at the end of episode 1, is far more climactic, you know? Like, there's a little bit more to it than just popping him with a gun from far away. But that's just how they designed it, and that's it. It just boils down to just shooting them like that. Just pop, 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 like you just saw. Yep, just grab a gun and pop them. Music is nice though, huh? I don't know what the fucking lyrics. I'm not even gonna try to fucking mouth it. Anyway, let that wrap up a little bit, but music's beautiful and all, but I got shit to say. I got more shit to say. I mean, we have to move on is what basically I'm getting at. So yeah, that wraps up the whole mystery on that fight. It was literally just a simple mechanic that the guide writer that whose guide I was looking at didn't fucking know, and he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But it's likely because him, along with everybody else back in the day when this game was relevant, literally just, you know, they just brute forced it with escape dolls because they duplicated them like a bunch of cheaters, because that's what everybody did. I know other streamers who've talked about their experience with Phantasy Star Online way back in those days when it was relevant. Some who actually got to play it online, because I didn't. I never got to play it online back when the official servers were up. But yeah, a lot of them said, or one of them who talked about his experience said that they pretty much quit when they heard about the duplication glitch or whatever, because it killed the game for them. Like they thought the game pretty much lost purpose, which yeah, I can get that, because being able to duplicate the rare weapons and items, which is like the whole point of the end game, I just, like, I can see how that can take the fun out of it for some people. It didn't for me and my cousins, and it obviously didn't for a lot of the people who played this game back then, in the online community or whatever. But yeah, I can see why that killed it for him. Either way, that's what tells me though. That, along with that comment I talked about, and the fact that GameFAQ is still like the highest rated for this game, even though it has that horrible misinformation for this boss fight, it tells me that everybody pretty much just brute forced it. That's why nobody corrected the guy, and he didn't correct himself and update his GameFAQ. So yeah, good times. But now I know, at least, and now it's, you know, the strategy, the actual strategy, is immortalized here on this video at least. So, you know, that's good. We now know actually how to fight it, and anybody who sees this video will know how to fight Floen now and defeat him. Olga Flo, I should say. You know, the AI Olga with Floen. And that's pretty much it. So, for the rest of this stream, since we still have some time to kill, because that was just the beginning. I mean, I just wanted to clear that up from, you know, last stream, because I got a little frustrated by that. For obvious reasons. Even more so once I found out that it was that simple. I was just like, I rolled my eyes like, really? I just had to get a piece and smoke them, which I had one, obviously. The next thing on the agenda, and the actual purpose of this video, is supposed to be the part 1, but now half an hour of it is just, you know, sort of a recap of the correct strategy on what happened in the boss fight of the last episode, right? But the rest of this episode, I guess, is starting... Well, it was going to be to start hard mode. to start hard mode for episode 1, but on the Diva Loca server using the classic character that we have here now. So we can see the actual proper intro, the cutscenes and dialogue that we missed last time. Because we were playing on the normal server and I didn't know how the whole system worked on Affinia, that you had to play on the classic server to actually get the cutscenes and dialogue, the appropriate cutscenes and dialogue for the single player mode to play on when it was supposed to. But also because I said I was going to do the government quests, the online multiplayer government quests that's basically, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was going to do those on normal before moving on to hard mode, right? But I read up on it as much as I could without, you know, spoiling anything for myself. It does more or less what you would expect, where it basically turns the main scenario into it's a multiplayer version of the main scenario, so that now you can experience the main story with your friends as opposed to having to play it offline single player by yourself, and then just playing a gutted version without any of the cutscenes online with your friends after the fact. Or you can do that first and then not have any context of the story, however you wanted to. The government quests were added with Blueburst so that you could actually play the story in a cinematic way, just like you would in single player offline, but online with your friends. So the government quests allow your friends or anybody, if you leave the room open, to join you even after you've already launched them. Most other quests, people can only join your lobby if you haven't started them yet, but for the government quests, they allow people to join halfway through. Like if you're doing a mission, somebody can just jump in and help you, basically. And I said, you know, I'll probably be strong enough to do them all solo by the end of the normal mode playthrough. But from what I read online, some of them can actually be very difficult. Even if you're slightly overleveled or even severely overleveled, they can actually still be quite difficult to do solo because some of them have time limits. So just so that we don't have a situation like what happened at the end of the last video, like with that boss fight and not knowing the strategy and all that, I've decided that I'm going to do the government quests on the sandbox account. I'll just, you know, boost the character to whatever level I need it to be, maybe even just 200 since I recreated it. Boost it all the way back up to 200 again or something, and then just blaze through the government quests solo on normal like that. So I don't have to rely on getting randoms into the lobby to help me out instead. Because like even if I was open to it, depending on what time I'm playing, the server could be dead and nobody will join, you know? And so the reason I'm doing the hard mode playthrough, or was going to do the hard mode playthrough first before anything else now, was because the other thing I found out about that quest we just tested, the Seed of the Heart. Let me turn the music and sound effects back on. So the other thing I found out about this Seed of the Heart is, see here on the classic character, this quest wasn't even on the list until after I finished the central control area, so right before the final dungeon of episode 2. But if you guys remember, it was there from the very beginning when I was playing the other version of the character, the normal one. The reason for that is because when this came out on GameCube, episode 1 and 2, which is basically the version we're playing right now on the classic character, you could, it's meant to be a continuation of the Karik and Sue Bernie storyline thing from the side stories in episode 1, essentially. If you guys remember, I told you there was 2 paths. The path we took was to get the Soul Eater, the big death scythe thing that I'm using, the weapon, right? And that path involved fighting with Karik multiple times until we killed him. And that branched off from me not telling Sue my name during that quest where I met her, right? There's a true ending to that storyline if you do tell her your name, and the true ending mostly manifests itself at the end of the Soul of Steel, I think it was called, that quest that involved Eleanor, Dr. Montague, and Eleanor's sister, Ult, right? That big, huge involved quest that even had a stealth segment. You guys remember that shit, right? And so, basically you have to do that quest line on episode 1, and then do all of episode 2's main scenario up to the central control area, like right before the seabed, and then you unlock this. So for Blueburst, when that launched a couple years later, they reworked it so that instead, the actual way to open that quest line was to open this quest here, is what I mean to say. The Seed of the Heart. It doesn't matter if you do that, like on the normal, like I'll just show it. Well, I did show it, yeah. Like I tried to play it and it wouldn't let me, even though I got all the way to the seabeds and everything, right? The reason for that is because they reworked it for Blueburst so that it ties into the government quest now. the main scenario for the government quest. So it no longer matters if you did the side story for... You won't have any context because the story's the same. It's still going to tie into that, so if you don't do them, you're not going to know what's going on. But it's no longer part of the unlock conditions. The unlock conditions are literally just to reach the end of the central control area in the main scenario for Blue Burst, which is the government quest, the multiplayer version of the main scenario. So if I switch back to my normal version of my character, I literally can't play that quest, Seed of the Heart, unless I do all the government quests for episode 2 all the way to the seabed area of episode 2. And the government quests kind of tie into each other between episode 1, 2, and 4. This is another point I want to talk about. So it really, like, I would literally have to replay the game through the new story, the revamped story mode, the government quests, which again would be difficult on the normal character or this character. Well, this one can't do them, but, you know, on the normal character because of how difficult the government quests can be. So I would have to switch to the sandbox character to be able to, like, blaze through them, and then I could unlock that quest that way. And I was like, well, that's going to be a pain in the ass, but I guess that's what we're going to have to do. But if I was going to do that, my idea was, because the government quests kind of tie into the government quest for episode 4, because episode 4 is Blue Burst exclusive, like, I kind of decided I wanted to replay the normal, old school single player story version of the story first on hard mode, and get the true ending for the Soul of Steel quests, you know, tell Sue my name this time around, the second time through, and get the actual true ending for Soul of Steel, and get the actual full story the way it's supposed to play out, not the non-canon version that I did where I got the Soul Eater. That's the non-canon version of the story. I wanted to play the canon story of the version, or the canon version of the story. I got a little backwards there. The canon version of the story first, before doing episode 4 and any of the government quests in episode 1, 2, and 4, basically. So that's why I decided in the end I'll play hard mode first, and I'll do it on the classic server so we get all the cutscenes and everything to play when it's supposed to play, the dialogue and everything. You know, the non-gutted version, the actual cinematic version of the single-player story. So then we can do a sort of a back-to-back, side-by-side comparison, basically. We can play through, you know, the whole, yeah, we can play through the entire old-school single-player version of the game again, with the actual canon events of the story, telling Sue my name and having the story play out the way it's supposed to. And then right after, just switch to the sandbox account and do the government quests, and then compare how the story might differ. I don't think it'll differ too much. I think the government quests will probably just literally be a more detailed, in-depth version of the main story. But then we can just do like a side-by-side comparison. So we can play Blue Burst story version, story mode, I guess, which is the government quests, right after playing one more playthrough of the old school version of the story. The single player version on the classic character here, on this character. So that's basically the roadmap that I decided on in the end, in the past 2 weeks that I was gone, is we'll play hard mode to play through the old school version of the story one more time, with the canon events. I'll tell Sue my name and all that, and then we'll play the government quests for episode 1 and 2, and then after that go straight into episode 4. And the idea with this quest was that I was going to do Seed of the Heart at the end of the government quest for episode 2 on the sandbox account, because it's apparently notoriously difficult. And this was not from that GameFAQ, obviously, that I read, because that doesn't even know about this. Like, it obviously wasn't updated when this quest came out. I went to psoworld.com, which is actually kind of a useful resource that you can use besides GameFAQs, because that one had Blue Burst information as well. And luckily, it kept it spoiler-free for me. But from what it said, it's an escort mission. As you saw, Ellie was going to join me again, just like when I escorted her to Kalis in episode 1 in that one side quest. It's that again, but you go through a lot of zones, like a lot, with a ton of enemies, which it depends. There's actual puzzles you have to solve where if you do them wrong, you get to fight more enemies. And if you or her die at any point, the whole quest fails. If you die without escape doll, the quest fails. If you have escape doll, you're fine. But if she dies, it's a failure. And the guide even says on psoworld.com that there's multiple enemies. There are multiple enemies and traps that can literally one-shot her. She can just die in one, even if she's at completely full health. She can just get one shot and it's over. And you have to go through several zones and even fight one boss, one of the major bosses, the one from the VR spaceship, the giant gold dragon, while keeping her alive. And they're like, this is extremely fucking hard unless you can literally breeze through and like one-shot almost all the enemies in episode 2, which I can, even on normal, I cannot do that at level 31. So I'm debating whether or not to try this right now on this character, because for one, we're probably not going to get through it, because like I just said, the guide says it's extremely hard unless you're over leveled. But two, I feel like I'm a little scared it might spoil the actual canon events of episode 1's story. So I kind of still feel like I want to do that first. Like I want to do the hard mode playthrough of episode 1 and 2 again first before attempting this quest, so that I can be more over leveled, so I'll have a better chance of keeping her alive, and so that we can have the canon events of the story for the things that happen with Sue and Karik and Bernie, and you know, Eleanor, Olt, and Dr. Montague, all that stuff. To have the canon events recorded first, that way we have all the context for how this story might play out, since it connects back to that. It didn't tell me how, and it didn't say, oh, the story plays out differently for Seed of the Heart if you fought Karik and got the Soul Eater instead. And if you did the other route, the other story route, the canon story route, it plays out differently. It didn't say that. As far as I know, according to PSOworld.com, the story for this quest plays out the same no matter what. So there's a big chance it's going to spoil the canon events of episode 1's story, and that's why I feel like I want to do that first. So yeah, I was going to play this, or attempt it at least, but I think that's the better route. I think we should play the hard mode version first. Yeah, we should play the hard mode of episode 1 first, and then come back to do this, and I'll be more over level that way too. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, so I got about between 30 minutes to an hour right now, so yeah, I forgot to say at the beginning of the stream, if you wanted to skip to the gameplay segment, go to, like, you know, much further down the video, because I was planning on rambling a lot, which I just did, but I completely forgot to say that. So kudos to you if you stuck with me through 42 minutes. Yeah, 42 minutes of fucking rambling. But it was something I had to get out there, because I had to lay out a roadmap for how I was going to play the rest of this game before shelving it, or, you know, pushing it aside and consigning it to just becoming the long grind to level 200, where the story no longer matters. But I wanted to lay out a roadmap for the rest of the story mode of this game, I guess. The main content of the channel, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So yeah, I totally meant to say, by the way, if you don't care about any of this, just skip ahead to, you know, like 30 minutes to an hour, but I totally forgot to say that, and now I'm done, so now it doesn't matter anymore. So yeah, let's just do that instead, and we'll come back to this. So we'll beat episode 1 and 2 on hard, and then I will come back to normal mode to try this with, I don't know, I'll assume I'm probably going to be level 50 by the end of hard mode. Maybe. It's going to be several streams from now. I'll probably be like level 50-ish, and so I'll come back to normal mode and try Seed of the Heart on normal at that level. Really over leveled, so we'll have the best chances of getting through with Ellie alive. And we'll have the context of the canon playthrough. You know, we'll get to see the canon events of the Soul of Steel quest, the whole Bernie Sue drama, all that stuff. So that there will be no more risk of spoilers of that, basically, since I did the non-canon route for the first playthrough. But yeah, we'll do that first, and then we'll come back to do Seed of the Heart. It was a DLC quest anyway, so if we pretend I was playing this game, that I'm playing this game like when it first came out, that's pretty much what I would have done anyway. You know, played through hard mode before doing a DLC quest that came out later on, you know. It works, honestly. It's fine. So yeah, now that I've explained all that, let's actually switch back to episode 1 and start the hard mode playthrough. No, don't play it. Well, let me offload this shit, because I just showed you guys me defeating Flo, and like that was literally before I started the stream, you know, almost an hour ago. I haven't offloaded all the stuff I picked up, so let me get rid of that first. And then we'll get going. Oh. I think this might be better than I have on right now. Hold on. Yes, finally, something stronger. Jesus. Please tell me general bodies. Do you have any yet? Fuck, I gotta keep my eyes open for that. I have a ton of money now, so. A railgun. Yeah, I still brought these just in case for, you know, overflow, but as you saw in the video, I didn't die once, so. Didn't need them. But better to have them and not need them, right? Oh, I was like, that was too quick. Yeah, we have a bunch of other shit. We have to do this or whatever too to make sure it's I'll go ahead and put a comment. Yeah, I'll put like in the description, you know, skip ahead to like 1 hour for the game to actually start, because the first hour is just me rambling about what happened last time and laying out a roadmap for the rest of the story playthrough, yada yada. Oh yeah, let me store the escape bells again. I found quite a lot on the classic character. Only to not need him because I learned the strategy for the fucking overflow boss fight, but yeah. The seabed lab enemies are still a pain in the ass though. Like, especially more so now on this, you know, playing on the classic character where I never got any boosts to like my EXP at any point. So I'm not as leveled up, like I'm not level 35 like I am on the other version of the character. They hit me even harder and I died even quicker like several times, but I didn't bring escape dolls so I could save them for the boss fight. But yeah, it was fucking horrible. Like, it's so bad. I already missed the Christmas music too. I'm sad that it's gone. This generic music, as nostalgic as it is just not as great, you know. I'm making sure the volume is that I set it to the correct. Yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. Making sure. All right, let me check over here. Like this. Gotta make sure I'm set up for this. I only have time for like a few quests on hard mode, and then I'm bouncing out to go to sleep, you know. So let's go to the lobby. Oh yeah, so how the Diva Loca server slash classic characters like this one, they have a special feature which I love because it's like New Game Plus essentially. You can do this. Reset story, I think. Need a difficulty number. 0 for normal, 1 for hard, 2 for very hard, 3 for ultimate. So basically you put / reset story and then you put space and then 0, 1, 2, or 3 like it said right there. And that'll reset your progress for that difficulty. And just like with the old GameCube version, you have to actually complete the story on one difficulty to progress to the next. So I beat it on normal. And you only have to beat one episode, not both. You only have to beat either one on normal to unlock hard. I beat both on normal just to make sure I could level up enough to be safe and comfortable for hard mode, but let's see how this works. Oh, and of course you can't play episode 4 because the GameCube version, episode 1 and 2, did not have episode 4. That was a Blueburst thing. So it lets you do this, but then as soon as you get to, you know, this, it's just like, episode 4 has been disabled. Because this is, you know, this is supposed to be the GameCube / Xbox version you're playing, basically. Anyway, episode 1. Now, so if this works the way it's supposed to, it should have only unlocked hard mode, but not very hard or ultimate. So if I try to pick ultimate, just as an example, cannot create game. Please clear episode 1's very hard difficulty first. There it is. Should say the same for this one, right? Please clear episode 2's very hard difficulty first. Now, the GameCube only required you to beat either episode, but this one they might have set it so you have to actually beat that episode on that difficulty to get the next difficulty for that episode. You know, whether it's 1 or 2. Maybe it's like that, I don't know. Either way, just demonstrating how the system works, basically. So I should say the same thing for very hard now. There it is. Please clear hard mode. Now, hard mode is, you know, I beat it on normal, so as long as I don't reset the story, like I don't hit /reset story 0, space 0, and reset the normal mode story, I should keep hard mode unlocked as long as I don't do that. So now it's actually gonna, it should play the opening sequence and everything else that we're already familiar with, and launch us right into the opening cutscene, just like it would on the GameCube or Xbox. And it did do this for me on normal, and I recorded it off stream. But that's going to be like a separate upload just to have the cutscenes without any commentary and all that stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, hi! If you've been skipping ahead to skip all my rambling and just wanted to get to the beginning, I should have put a timestamp under, like as a comment or in the description of the video leading you right here, because this is where the game actually starts, where I shut the fuck up and we get going. So yeah, let's go. Great Party, episode 1. This doesn't matter. 1 person, difficulty, hard, and here we go. There we go, yeah. Exactly as intended.
You son of a bitch.
Yep. It worked.
Son of a bitch.
I added my own little flair to it. And there we go. It's like episode 1 of this entire playthrough all over again, isn't it? Except now we actually get the proper intro and opening cutscene, like this. So, we get better story context than my half-assed, well, not half-assed, but the weird-ass pseudo-multiplayer, pseudo-single-player version of the game that we played through normal mode on. It's fucking weird. But hey, I was new to the Affinia server. I didn't know how everything worked, and part of the reasons why that happened is because when I read about how the classic mode / the Diva Loca server that we're playing on now, how it works, they didn't say that. The Affinia staff did not mention that if you wanted to actually get the full single player experience with the cutscenes and everything, that you had to play on Classic. They just said Classic mode reduces your drop rates and EXP rates back to 1 times and sort of like the GameCube version and the Xbox version, and that's it. They only mentioned the logistical part. They only said that, but they didn't mention that it also affected how this, you know, the cinematic part of the story plays out like this. Otherwise, I would have started on the Classic server and we could have done this playthrough on you know, Classic like this, and then the hard mode playthrough could have been, it would have been reversed basically, maybe. Or maybe I would have done 2 playthroughs like this, I don't know. Either way, let's get started. Okay, the intro's over, and the first thing that happens is we're here, like I mentioned before, talking to Principal Tyrell, and he says, "Are you Vaughn, the hunter? I'm Principal Tyrell. We have a bad situation. We need to act quickly. Did you hear about the explosion on Regal?" "Yeah." "Who didn't? We all saw it from up here." He says, "Very well. Pay attention and listen to me. We've lost contact with Pioneer 1. We have no idea what has happened. We've sent probes, but communication seems to cut off near the surface. What happened on Regal? What occurred on Pioneer 1? Are the people alive? The Council made a decision to send a manned search team. You are a skilled hunter. We need your help. We have no choice. We need a place to settle on." Pause of silence. Could you... Silence. "No, it's nothing. Take care and good luck." It sounds like you had something else to say. You sure? I didn't say anything. Go talk to my secretary. Irene will help you.
Bullshit!
He obviously wanted to say something. I'm guessing this is Irene. She says, "Well, let me brief you on your mission. Once you're on the surface, check the status of the residential area. Checking the status of the central dome is a good idea. A teleporter's been set down on Regal, so you can go directly from here. It may be a little risky, so please be careful. That's all." Silence, and then, excuse me? Oh, sorry. No, nothing. I wish you the best of luck. This is just between us, okay? Yeah, I'm insisting. Come on. What are you guys hiding? The principal's daughter was on Pioneer 1. After the explosion, he's been constantly worrying about her. He can't even sleep. This is a personal request. If it's possible, find out what happened to her. He isn't in a position to ask you such a personal favor. Red Ring Rico, a famous hunter and a top scientist on Pioneer 1. Rico's his only daughter. Please, look for her. Okay, I understand. Red Ring Rico is the principal's daughter. I hope she's safe. Yeah, in his position, he can't really make personal requests. I get it. This guy says our planet was tearing itself apart. We couldn't stop it. But we searched for a new planet and found Regal with our unmanned probes. A huge interstellar ship was sent to Regal. That was Pioneer 1. Pioneer 1 confirmed Regal as a suitable location to settle on. And a second ship departed. That was us. Pioneer 2. Oh, sorry. You already knew that. Well, back in the day, we didn't have a pause button unless you were watching this on YouTube years later, many years later. But when you started the game, I mean, that intro sequence goes kind of fast. Like, you couldn't pause that without just skipping it entirely, and the text, you guys just saw the intro, the text would just fly by sometimes. You'd be like, dude, I barely caught that. What did it say? But in case you didn't catch everything about, the Pioneer 1 and Pioneer 2 stuff, this guy gets to recap it for you. This Pioneer 1 and 2 are identical spaceships. Each Pioneer can travel in space holding 30,000 people. Okay. When our ship was led by Pioneer 1's signal to land on Regal, we saw that strange explosion. Pioneer 2 decided to orbit Regal and collect data before landing. Okay. I was against the immigration. If a planet dies, the people have to die with it. Don't you think so?
What the fuck? Oh, shit! You suck!
No. That's my response to that. You're an idiot. Hey, why did you come along then? You should have stayed behind if that's how you really felt. And here you are, with the rest of us, so... Clearly you didn't really believe that, did you? Alright, and so you guys know how it goes from the normal mode playthrough. Just to demonstrate how the classic mode server works, as it's supposed to, you're only allowed into the forest. It doesn't just have all the areas unlocked. You actually have to play through the story legitimately as it was back in the day. This is how I wish we had done the first playthrough on normal, but again, I didn't know how the Affinia staff had set up their servers and that it worked that way. I thought classic mode literally just meant, I thought it just affected the drop rates and the EXP rates. So, because that's all they say on the website. They don't mention you actually get to relive the actual cinematic experience. Oh, cinematic quote unquote for 2000 cinematic, you know. Just kind of. Bruh. But yeah, they don't mention you get to actually relive the proper cinematic experience if you do it this way. And there's an entire cutscene we missed. Not really a cutscene, but there's a whole sequence very important to the story that we completely missed because of that as well. That I didn't even show it on YouTube because I completely forgot about it till I saw it off stream when I replayed the classic mode, until I played the classic mode on normal off stream in the last 2 weeks. So we'll get there when we get there. It's several streams away, the part I'm talking about, and I don't want to spoil it. So when we get there, I'll mention it, I'll bring it up again. But yeah, before we get on to the main scenario, just like last time, I'm going to do the same pattern of play, which we'll do the side story first for each zone, and then progress the main story, then do the side story quest again, yada yada. So just like before, it starts with the 3 introductory tutorial quests. We can probably at least get one of these done before I have to go to bed. Yeah. 1 or 2 maybe. And then I'll have to sign off. And we'll start with the same order as before. Battle training. Find a hunter who's working down on Regal. Client is Zid, not... What the hell was that other guy's name who said, hey, I know you, and then he's like, oh, I thought you were somebody else, and I thought he was Zid, and it was actually... Oh, Zyark or something? He had some weird-ass funky name. But this character model was exactly like Zid, so I thought it was the same guy, and it wasn't. Anyway, the quest says, please find a hunter and bring him back. He went down to Regal for a quest. Reward 500 Meseta. Yeah, sadly, a hard mode does not boost the rewards for the quests. As far as I know. You get the same fucking shit reward you got on normal, basically. Which is fine, because most of your money just comes from actual drops, which does increase on higher difficulties, so the monsters, when they drop Meseta, it'll be higher now. And they'll also drop rare weapons and items that will sell for a higher price as well, so... money's really not that much of an issue anymore, once you're in hard mode. You can just kind of go crazy. Get dialogue? No. This guy says, are you Vaughn? I'm Zid. I asked a young hunter, Ash, to do some research on Regal. He's supposed to be done with the job by now, but he hasn't returned yet. Perhaps he got himself into some trouble. I want to ask you to go to Regal and rescue him. Not by yourself. Please go with that hunter over there. First of all, can you bring him here? I'll talk to you later. Karik, buddy! What's up, dude?
Dylan!
He says, are you Vaughn? It's the first time I've had a partner.
Son of a bitch.
Zid asked me to do this job first. Unexpectedly, he told me I'd have to work with someone else. I had to say yes, as he is my client. He's like, I already signed the contract. But yeah, so your NPCs are obviously, their level is adjusted for the new difficulty. So Karik was level 35 or 36 when we played on normal, right? So now for hard mode, he's at level 61. Just another reason why it's recommended to do the storyline where you kick his ass and take his weapon from him on normal instead of hard. 2 reasons. 1 is he's obviously going to be a lot stronger and harder to kill on this difficulty, but 2, his weapon will have the same stats as if on normal, as if you're playing on normal. Which by that part of the game, the end game essentially, on hard mode, it is useless. Like, we're gonna find much stronger weapons at this point by the time we get there than the Soul Eater. The Soul Eater is really only useful if you get it as early as possible. But if you get it in hard mode or above, it's a useless weapon. It's meant to be gotten on your first playthrough to be useful. Like, I'm pretty sure by the time we get to the ruin zone on this difficulty, I'll have found a much stronger weapon. We'll have dropped from an enemy or something that I'll be using instead of the Soul Eater. So. It says, hello again, Vaughn. He's Karik, your partner for this quest. He's a Hugh cast. Or a... Hugh, the HU is for hunter, so it could be Huckcast? That was weird to say that way, but... Says he's a pro. Perhaps you can learn a lot from him. That's why the quest is called Battle Training. It's a tutorial quest, literally. Karik, I know you are unhappy, but I need 2 hunters for this. One has to retrieve the data disk that I asked Ash to get. The other is to help Ash return here if he is injured. This is my personal agenda. It has nothing to do with business. Ash is my cousin. I don't want to lose him. Please understand. Karik says nothing. He says, I have no choice. He's pissed. What are you doing here? Please hurry up and find Ash. Good luck. Karik's like, damn. I guess I have to work with a partner for the first time ever, but whatever, fine. I don't think there's any NPCs to talk. No. There's no story relevant NPCs to talk to here. So now we got double soul eaters over here. Look at this. Mine's better than yours.
Bruh. You suck!
I'm just kidding. They're the same shit. His is actually better because it doesn't drain his soul from him. His health isn't going down. It didn't do that in normal mode either. He gets plot armor. That doesn't let his scythe kill him. Mine does. It's literally the same weapon, but, you know. It's only an effect that applies to you when you actually get it as a player. But him as the NPC wielding it, no, he's totally fine. And yes, even if you're playing as an android, it still saps your life. Like, as far as I know, it still does. You don't get to escape that just by being a cast like him. It still does that to you. Krieg says, prepare yourself for the savage creatures of Rhaegal. If you're close enough, a cursor shows you which enemy you can attack. Don't let them surround you. Very true. Alright. Here we go. Can he still one-shot them? Well, if he can ever attack before I do, we'll find out, but... He just got smacked. No, he cannot one-shot them anymore. So even though they scaled his level appropriately for hard mode, he's no longer godlike like he was in normal mode, where he just literally one-shots everything. Like, his attacks do almost the same amount of damage as mine, you know? Oh, hey, Wolf45. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the content. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, he's not as overpowered and godlike anymore, so you actually have to fight alongside him. You can't just let him do all the work anymore. They scaled him up, but they didn't scale him up that much. He says, be careful. Even if you defeat one group, another one may be hiding near you. Watch the radar. Prepare for the battle so you don't get surrounded. Roger that. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed something that happened between last stream and this stream. When they took off the Christmas event and updated the Affinia client, they added a couple new features, one of which adds the drop rate and like the rarest drop for every enemy right above their health bar in the bottom left. We can see their health bar before, but now we can see what they drop and the rate that they drop it at, which changes for each difficulty you're playing at and for every enemy, of course. So that's a new thing now. He was a god back then. Yeah, on normal mode. Now he has to like fight legit like us. Karik says that's a door switch. Press it, the door should become unlocked. Obviously, by the time you're strong enough to fight him, he's no longer that godlike, but when you're level 1 and just starting on normal mode, he just one-shots everything and you're just like, damn, I can't do that. Let's see, what is the rarest thing this motherfucker can drop? Nothing, apparently. None of these things can drop anything rare, they're useless. You're in the goddamn way. I can't even see what I'm trying to pick up. Booma's right arm. That's kind of grotesque. You can chop his arm off. The drop rate is 1 out of 457 chance. Yeah, on normal mode, that's like... I think I remember seeing the drop rate was like 1 in over a 10,000 or 1,000 something. Like you're not gonna get it on normal mode. It just ain't gonna happen. Karik says in some areas you must defeat all the enemies to unlock the door. Perhaps it's a security reason. Other doors can be opened through switches. Roger that. Yeah, once you get to like very hard and ultimate, the drop rate for rare stuff is like so high, it just drops everywhere. Especially on ultimate mode. Like there's just red boxes everywhere when going through even a basic zone like this. But we are still miles away from that. But we won't be seeing that anytime soon. Karik says arms and protectors have attributes. Learn to link attributes to enemy types. Monsters around here are all native animals. Practice on them. Techniques also have attributes. Learn the attributes if you want to survive. It ain't that deep, but, you know. Oh yeah, so this is a new version of Rati. I like this one better. Not new as in it's new, it's not really new, it's just, I ended up liking this color better. And this color was from keeping the silver version of the mag. When I first made Vaughn have the white and blue outfit, the one I rejected when I first started, way back in the first stream of this game. So I should have kept that, but I mentioned before, unlocking the dressing room is different than it was on the GameCube now. You actually have to make a guild, this game's version of a guild, and even if you do it solo, you have to amass a lot of points by turning in rare items and drops, which won't happen until later difficulties, to unlock the dressing room. It's a pain in the ass. So even if I wanted this color for the mag, I would have basically had to make a different, what I actually did was make a different version of my character with the same section ID but with a different outfit to get the silver mag. This is what I did. And then put it into the shared character bank and then bring it out with this version of the character after I recreated it wearing the actual outfit that I want, the black outfit. And then I just tossed the purple mag aside. I just put it in the bank and I'm never going to use it basically. But yeah, I ended up liking the silver version better because once I leveled it up to Rati again, like I had before, I got the white wings, those ones right there, the silver/white wings, which are much more... They look a lot better than the dark wings that I had with the other mag. It wasn't too attractive. They were too like faded. They were too transparent and like hardly even showed. These wings are a much better color. They stand out more. Anyway, that was just an aside. Craig says if you're with your teammates, they'll watch your back. Not really. Not unless you actually have trustworthy companions, like friends helping you out. You might get trolled by other players and be like, ha, look at him die. But yes, technically, if you're playing with people you trust, yes, they'll watch your back. He says, if you're alone, try to change the view around or often to look around. Okay. You could also just be playing with close friends who like to troll you, and they'll just be like, look, I'm not even going to tell them that a dude's about to sneak up on them. You know? And then you get your ass kicked. Hazing is a thing, alright? I still have yet to play with anybody from Affinia, but the community, from what I've heard, is pretty nice. Everybody's, you know, helps each other out and they're friendly to new players and stuff. Usually happens with small, tight-knit communities, you know, this game's pretty niche at this point. 300 players on average, which is still pretty good for a game this old, but that's still small compared to any other MMO, of course. Like a modern one. He says, what's wrong? Is it difficult to hit the enemies? No. Freak says, alright, it's okay as long as you aren't a liability. He's basically saying, as long as you're not bullshitting me.
Oh, shit!
Trying to act tough. But no, it's because we're on hard mode. I've learned how to play the game at this point, don't worry. I can actually hit them. Just don't do this for your first attack and you'll pretty much always hit them. Oh, so he's the one who drops it. You guys remember Celicia got that sword, the Khalid Bold, and I passed it over to Vaughn, and I showed it a little bit during the Christmas event quest. It was that red sword, the red saber I was using during the Christmas event. That quest was insane. So now I know where I got it from. So I got it in the forest when I played like for a few minutes on hard mode. But she was also, when I was playing as her, I think it was an increased drop rate week. Some non-classic servers, and they had an increased drop rate that week, so I think that's why she got it. We're not gonna have the same luck here, obviously. But now I know what enemy drops it. It wasn't a bad saber. And it is stronger than this weapon here, the Soul Eater, so... Like I said, this weapon becomes obsolete pretty quickly once you go to hard mode. Oh, assuming you get lucky enough to get a rare weapon soon. Dude, the Rappy ran right into that shit. Oh. Well, that hurt. I knew he was getting up soon. Craig says, here's a simple battle tip. Be mindful of the colors during the battle. The cursor color above the enemy is a hint on how to attack an enemy. It's kind of like how the cursor is red for him because I can heal him like this. Not as much a hint as much as it's telling you what's available to use against them. But it's not like it's telling you that's the best thing to do though. Like we always get a green marker no matter how many times you've done this. But obviously just spamming this isn't the best way. At some point you gotta use the heavy attacks like this. You know? So. I don't know if hint is the right word, but... Farik says, Vaughn, look at the action palette. See the outline colors? Notice that the cursor color has a matching action palette color. So a red cursor means press the red action palette key / button. Got it? Roger that. I'll probably put a special label on this video saying that it's like the start of the hard mode playthrough and denote that it's like the more cinematic version of the story mode because, you know, excellent. Because we're playing on the classic server. So we get the cutscenes to play out properly and everything. Not sure how I'll title it yet, but I'll find out when I get there. What's that? Who is it? Ash Ketchum. Oh, he has a brand here. He had a green saber before, didn't he? In normal mode. I think for hard mode they gave him a brand, the blue one. The one you start getting like in the caves or the mines. Because the purple one, the Buster, is for the ruins on normal mode. So here the most basic saber on hard mode is the brand, and then obviously it'll go up to the Buster, and then you start getting like legendary special weapons later. He says, I don't know who you guys are, but be careful. They're still hiding around here. He might have always had the brand and I'm just forgetting. I'll check back at my old video. He didn't say anything. He passed out. Alright, well. Greek says I can hear something. A growl? Got the data disk. Give me the Khalid bowl. Damn. Worth a shot. Ash says, thank you. What? Zid?
What?
Now I know why you guys are here. He always treats me like a kid. I completed the quest, but suddenly they attacked me here. Well then clearly he was right to worry about you. Monsters appeared and I dropped the disc. I couldn't do anything. Well, aren't you lucky we showed up then? How vexing! I appreciate that you guys came to save me, but yeah, I get it. Your pride's hurt. Your ego took a hit. It's all good, buddy. Don't worry. Soon you'll be wielding a double saber, which is more than I got right now. Or twin saber, I should call it. I wonder if he'll still have the same one, the red one, or if he'll have a stronger one when we see him later. That won't be till the ruins. That's really far away, so we won't know for a while. Craig says, I'll take this boy with me. You deliver the disc to the client, then we can finish this job. Vaughn, train yourself. Become much stronger to impress me. I should have seen the signs back then, man. That was a kind of a sinister laugh. To think all you gotta do is not tell Sue your name and then he comes after you for some fucking reason. He just fucking... He's like, I have orders to kill you. You have become much stronger. Impress me. Let's fight! And then he attacks you and tries to kill you, and then when you defeat him, he calls you tasty. He says your soul is very tasty and he wants more of it. Kind of uncomfortable, but that won't be happening this playthrough. As far as I know, when you do the Canon playthrough, Tariq doesn't attack you and try to kill you this time around. We won't see him get possessed by dark faults near the end either. He'll go fucking crazy. It's not even about the orders to kill you anymore, he's just gone nuts. But hey, if we hadn't done the non-canon playthrough first, we wouldn't have gotten the Soul Eater, so it was worth it. Right. Higher difficulty means rarer items. We're gonna start seeing that stuff more often. No, that one's weaker. Well, I don't know which one I had on before, but... A halberd. I think it's a partisan weapon. Like the scythe that I'm already, the Soul Eater, basically. But generic. I don't think I need this. Nope. I think I have one of those already, but... Did we, okay, no. No unknowns. No unknown unknowns yet, no. Did I get one of these already? I'm looking for general body. I want more defense. I'm already getting enough power from raising the mag as a power mag. I need defense to make up for that deficit. Oh yeah, I did have one already. Well, 2 doesn't hurt. Yeah, see, so here's one of the discarded mags. This is the one right here. I can tell because it has the... It starts off with 20% synchro if it's the one you started with. This is just an extra mag I found in the mines. I don't know what color it is. But this one is the purple one from me starting with the section Skylight and the black outfit that I have on now. This is the one that this character actually started with. The silver one that I raised into the silver winged Rati that I have on now is from the same character, but with the white and blue outfit with section Skylight, which was deleted after I just stored the mag into the storage and then recreated it as this character and got it out from the storage. Just so I could have the color I wanted without having to change my outfit or have to wait until I unlock the dressing room, which takes forever. On the Affinia server anyway. I should say on Blueburst, because they actually made it easier. It took 3,000 points for your guild to acquire 3,000 points to unlock the dressing room on the original Blueburst servers, and Affinia reduced it down to 1,500. They cut it in half. So thank you, Affinia staff, for that, but that still takes forever if you're not even playing on like very hard or ultimate yet, where you can actually get ultimate special weapons, like rare weapons to turn in. It could take forever, so. The cool thing is when you join a team or make your own guild, team, same thing, you're joined on all your characters for that account. So as soon as I get the dressing room, I'll have it on for all the characters, and any new characters that I make will have it automatically. I made my own. I made my own team, and it's called Starcrest, obviously. What else was I gonna call it? I would have named it like Starcrest Industries or something if I could make a longer name, but I couldn't, so. Yeah, once I can get rare weapons and stuff, I'll turn in stuff and I'll unlock the dressing room, but it's not a priority anymore, since my character pretty much looks how I want them to, so. Definitely doesn't matter for this story playthrough. Oh yeah, let me check the armor shops regularly to get better shit. If it doesn't have 2 slots, I'm not even gonna look at it. Okay. No general body yet. Ash says thank you. I'll keep practicing. Is that it? Yeah. This says Karik already left after receiving the Meseta. Phew. I have never seen such an intimidating android. It was like that android was built for battle. You don't know the half, buddy. If you knew what I went through in an alternate universe on normal mode. I got to experience his wrath first half. Honestly, he was pretty easy to fight, but you know, I'm trying to give him some credit. This must be the disc that I asked Ash to find. Thanks. Ash is enduring the pain since he won't go see a doctor. Why? You get your reward at the Hunters Guild. Thank you. The pride's gonna get you killed, kid. Go see a doctor. You can get your reward at the Hunters Guild. Thank you. Alright. See ya. Maybe it was 200 Meseta on normal. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the rewards are updated. I don't know. Yeah, here, look. There's a character name. Level. There's a team name. Win-death ratio for PvP, I guess. Anyway. So yeah, if I go to team, there's the rankings. Always watching. I like that. Buying privilege, there it is. Dressing room, 1,000 points. So it used to be 3,000 on the official Bluebird servers, and now it's 1,000. Yeah, you can buy a banner, a flag, which is just a logo, an emblem for your team, which is just a guild. Increase your member limits. You can buy a physical itemized version of your team points to transfer them to someone else. So if you have a friend who already has a bunch of points and they're authorized to buy these like this, you can make your own, and then they can just buy these points, transfer them over to you, and you can unlock the dressing room. You know, a friend can just help you by buying you this and giving it to you, and then you start your own team like I did, and then buy the dressing room. That's a fast way to do it if you have friends playing Affinia. Do that. I don't, so I'm gonna have to farm the points out myself. Anyway, back to the story. We'll do one more, and then I gotta go to bed. Oh, see, now I have to do 2 things. I have to remember to do this. It'll take a little longer to get back into the session every time now. Just a little bit. Not too bad. This time around, I don't have to do the frying pan quest. So that's one less thing, because you don't get like a new one. Like, just like the Soul Eater. Get it on normal, because it becomes useless pretty quick once you go to hard mode and beyond. So I won't be doing that one, so I don't have to worry about that. Not that I could do anything about it anyway now, but... because you have to unlock more quests first by doing these 3. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that, and I don't have to worry about one other side quest line. Well, the only other side quest line is not really a side quest line, it's just one quest. It's the one with the swords. You guys remember from the normal mode playthrough, the one with Zoke and his 3 legendary swords and the fourth one that's floating around out there. I have that planned out to show the swords when we get there on the sandbox account. I got all the swords on there so I can show them off there when we get there. Because that's the only way you're going to see them if you're just watching for the story, because even once I start getting close to level 200, I might never find those swords, even on ultimate mode and very hard, because they're a very rare drop rate. So I figured I'll just show them for the sake of the story when we get to that quest later, by switching over to the sandbox account that has them. Anyway, the next one that makes sense for tutorial purposes is Magnitude of Metal. A valuable commodity on Regal was lost? Question mark. Client Garen, trader. He's a trader. Quest is to retrieve items that were stolen on a trip back from Regal. The reward is 500 Meseta. He says, "Are you the hunter from the guild? I'm Garen, a trader. I want you to go down to Regal and retrieve my lost items. It's really important. A business opportunity the likes of which no one has seen before. I'm sure I'll become a zillionaire when I get it all back. That useless ranger said that an android took them. Find that android and get back my items. Understand? If you need any more info, ask that stupid, incompetent ranger." Damn. Go talk to that useless ranger if you need more details. He should be around here somewhere. That's pretty harsh. And yes, he means this guy here. Yeah, we do see this guy in another quest. A couple, I think. It says Garen's commodity? Ah, they're just mags. Clue. Bing bing. Garen happened to find out that mags could be found on the ground. Only in the mines area for gameplay purposes, but yes. He asked me to collect some for him. I accepted it for the Meseta. I collected enough mags on Regal to make everyone happy, but then I thought about the mags and the hunters who used them before. Mags are just protectors invented by a scientist. But we're given one when we become hunters. Kind of tradition. Mags are an essential piece of equipment for hunters, right? When I was thinking this, an android appeared and... It was right, though. Garen shouldn't use them to get Meseta. You can't use them to get Meseta either, by the way. I tried this. Even if you unequip your mag, you cannot sell it. So you either have to drop it, give it to another player, or just store it in the bank forever. Or keep it with you and switch between mags if you want different models, you know? There are some cute level 4 mags you can make. Like final form mags. There is one cute one I want to show off later eventually. I think it's gonna be the one I'll raise it on Salacia, and then when it's done I'll show it. That likely won't happen until we're like... Oh, it might happen sooner than... Yeah, it might actually happen sooner since it's something that I can do off stream. Yeah. On a different character, you know? When it's done, I'll show it. I always find it funny how they roar. Almost at max level. Oh, good. Mono grind the hell out of this site. I think the max grind it can get is +9. So if I get a tri grinder at some point, It'll get maxed out. You little shit! You're supposed to land sitting down first. Rappy's wing. I like how the rarest drop for a lot of these monsters is body parts. It's just kind of gruesome. Freeze, asshole. Well, that was more me tasing him, but you know, whatever. See, they drop a lot of money now. 100 meseta from the little Rappy. I guess now that I've beaten this game again after 20 plus years, coming back to revisit it, even if I've only beaten it on normal so far, comparing it to like a more modern MMO that I've obviously spent a lot of time playing in the last few years, Final Fantasy 14. I said this before, but the gameplay loop for this is a little bit more addicting for me. Like, even though I'm going through the same areas over and over again for the quests, or even just playing through the main story, and even if the gameplay is a lot simpler, there's just something about it that hooks me in a little bit more than doing like roulettes for the same dungeon over and over to level up alternate job classes or something in FF14. Or even if you're leveling up one that you enjoy. The gameplay loop is just, after a while, it gets kind of old and doesn't hook me in as much as this. Like, I really thought about it a lot the past few weeks that I've been streaming this, comparing the games and everything in my head. And yeah, it's just like, for FF14, I just kind of enjoy the story. But when it comes to just the gameplay, I can't just do roulettes and spam dungeons to like get tomestones and all that stuff. Like the end game gameplay loop for a casual or even a hardcore player, but mostly for like a casual player like me, it's just too boring. And that's kind of a crisis that game's going through right now, which is why I brought it up. There's a lot of people dropping their subscription because I haven't played Dawn Trail yet, but a lot of people are saying that it sucks, and that's like one of many reasons. The other reason is that ever since patch 6.1 in early Endwalker, there has just not been a lot to do for casual players like me. So it's just another reason why I kind of just stopped playing it and came to this. Like, I was planning to stream this anyway, no matter what, but even off stream, I play this game now more often than FF14, so... yeah. And this is just kind of an aside, but like, for a long time, the developers were kind of saying, yeah, you know, take a break, go play other games. But now they've actually started losing so many players recently from the fact that there is just such a huge lack of content for people that aren't hardcore raiders, that they're actually starting to say, please don't unsubscribe, please don't retire. We swear we're gonna come out with content soon. Kind of embarrassing. They actually had to stoop down to that level recently. It's something that only happened like a few days ago. I was like, ouch. I was like, yeah, maybe you guys shouldn't have, you know, neglected giving the majority of your player base something to do. Because the majority of players are not hardcore raiders. The vast majority are casuals that are getting bored with the game and just leaving, you know? I was like, yeah, I even went back to a game from the 2000s, an MMO from the 2000s, this fucking thing, just because I got that damn bored with the game. So that's telling something.
You suck!
Anyway, back to this game. Eleanor says, well, one's still missing. I was surprised.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm here, right in front of you. She says, excuse me, but have you seen a mag around here? I'm looking for it. She says, what? You came here to retrieve mags? Yeah. She says, no, I didn't mean to take them from the ranger. But they all look so sad, so I just started talking to them. And they looked very happy. I just wanted to say hello. But they all wanted to come with me and they chased after me. Then everyone returned to their master's place. They aren't here now. She says that so ominously. Only one mag was saying that it would come with me, but it disappeared. Sorry about that. Are you going to look for it? Let me join you. Maybe it didn't stray too far from me. By the way, I'm Eleanor. Eleanor Camwell. I'm an android. Nice to meet you, Eleanor. Could always use a backup. Let's go. So now she's 37. Fuck, by the time we redo these quests on Ultimate, everybody's gonna be in like the 100s. Like really, really far up there. Like Karik is probably gonna be close to level 200. Nah, maybe like 150. He says, are you mad because I let the mags run away? No. I'm sorry. But please listen. I don't know if you're aware of this, but mags are intelligent. When a hunter equips a mag, it recognizes him or her as its master. Some mags are clever. They can protect or heal their masters. That actually finally happened when I was fighting... No, it wasn't when I was fighting Ogoflo, but some of the enemies I was fighting in the seabeds at the end of episode 2 a while ago. Rati actually healed me. It didn't just give me like shift and D-band where it raised my attack and defense. It actually healed me at one point when I was close to dying. It was pretty cool. Eleanor says, moreover, some can do a lot of photon damage. The photon blast. Doc told me, but I forgot. Anyway, mags will try to help you if you're nice to them. He's talking about the synchro mechanic. Mags feel very sad when they lose their masters. That's why synchro goes down if you die. Without escape doll. What's mine right now? 120% is the max synchro, so... It only goes down by a few points and you can raise it back up pretty quick if you know what to feed it. IQ's max is 200 and mine's 105, so it's kind of dumb right now. I gotta raise it back up. But that's because of what I had to feed it to get it to become Rati. Once it's level 200, and I don't have to worry about accidentally raising a different stat like Mind or something else. And its stats are capped. Like power, defense, and all that is just capped at where I want it to be. I will feed it whatever it takes to raise its IQ without lowering its synchro. There's a mag feeding table on the wiki that I can use. So then I can have max everything, you know? Max synchro, max IQ, and max power. Well, for what I can get right now. And the dexterity that I gave it, and that's it. It'll be as optimized as it can be for this character class and race. For a hunter, I guess I should say. Semi-optimized. I saw an actual character guide. For it to have been optimized, the dexterity would have had to been capped at 47 or 48, but then I wouldn't have been able to make Rati if I did that. And I wanted to, you know, I wanted Rati because it looks cool. Like a pair of wings on your back, it's cool. So I gave it the 2 extra dexterity. Level 50 dexterity. It's 2 less than optimal. Boo-hoo. I'm not gonna lose sleep over that, you know? Or 2 more dexterity than what is optimal for a power mag. For this character / race or whatever, but again, I won't lose sleep over it. Oh no, I missed out on 2 points of power. Big deal. Eleanor says, excuse me, I don't know if I should tell you this, but... Bon, your mag is hungry. Oh yeah, I haven't fed it. It's true. I believe you. It's alive. It needs something to eat. And it's best to give a mag its favorite item. Each mag has its own characteristics and its own favorite items. Some like monomates, others like dimates. To feed your mag, open the menu window, select item pack, then mag. And select give items. That's it. It's easy. Try to know your mag. It's their way of saying experiment with different items and see what it likes. It grows as its master gains experience. More so a way of telling you to feed it the right items to get the stats you want, like this. Eleanor says, Vaughn, your mag is very cute. Oh, thank you. It likes you a lot, Vaughn. Huh? How can I communicate with Mags? Well, because... she's confused. I'm so sorry. I just don't know. She has no idea how she's able to talk to Mags. Alright. Hopefully this is something that'll be explained more once we actually get the true ending to Soul of Steel at the end of the game. That's the whole map. Okay. Oh. Eleanor says, oh, I just remembered. When mags get damaged, they charge energy to endure the pain. The charged energy can be converted to a photon blast. Yeah, like the limit break version for this game, basically. But I'm not sure. When the energy is fully charged, your mag tells you to use the power. Yeah, I got you. This fucking scythe is draining my ass. Eleanor says, hey, there it is. There, over there. Can you see it? Yeah, in the water. Got the missing mag. She says, hi again. Silence. I see. It visited its ex-master to say bye-bye. Now it's done. It says it wants to have a new master. See? Mags prefer a master that loves them. Vaughn, please take care of your mag. I always do. Even if you can't hear its voice, know that it understands you. Thanks, Eleanor. Anything else? She says mags are good partners to hunters. I know my mag. I can feel my mag because I'm very close to it. Alright, well, goodbye. Guess this is the only one that I'm bringing back. I'm happy to hear that, he says, the ranger. The mags would be much happier going back to their masters. They were so loyal to them, they decided to go rest in peace with them, because they're all dead. This guy says, he literally says, what? This is the only one?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Their masters were already dead. Yep. Silence. Anyway, you can get your Meseta at the guild. Your job is finished. Plays happy ending music, even though we just found out that we were looking for the mags of a bunch of dead hunters. He says, I lost so much Meseta. I could have been a zillionaire. Poor bastard.
You suck.
So sorry you didn't get to be a zillionaire, buddy. 500 Meseta. And there it goes. Oh yeah, there's something else I meant to show at the beginning of this playthrough, which is still this stream. Before I get out of here, I wanted to show something. Let me set it up before I... And I'll probably keep this on for like at least one more stream because I forgot to activate it for this one, but I'll show it right now real quick before I get out of here. Let me pull up the chat commands. Chat commands. Slow burst. And there's a burst preference. Check this out. I haven't tested this yet. Burst pref. Set to slow. Burst pref toggles default preferences for fast or slow bursts during loading screens for parties led by your current character. / slow burst, party leader only. Can't use in the lobby, but once you're in there. It toggles the current party's fast or slow burst during loading screens. So right now it says slow. I don't know if it was set to that before. I don't think so though. Let me see what happens if I do this again. Now it's set to fast. Okay, so it was set to fast first. Now let me set it to slow. Like this. I think it saves. Let's find out. Or it's only once you start a lobby. Or start like a game session. So this is what it means by burst. And yes, this always shows because it's when you're connecting, right? So no, it's when you actually start the session. Alright, let's see. First pref. Okay. So it saves. It was already set to slow because of the last time. Alright. So for the nostalgia, even if you have a kick-ass PC that doesn't need load times, you can do that. And then when you load into a session, you get your little loading screen. So you can re-experience the game just like back in the GameCube days. And you get all the loading screens, by the way. That's just the normal one, right? When you're starting a game. But when you start a quest, like this, there's this one too. And you don't get it for very long anyway. But you can change the color of that thing spinning in the center by pushing X, which is what I did. I pushed it twice. I didn't know how long it was going to last, so I was trying to be fast. But that's the loading screen for starting missions. Yeah, we're not doing this yet. I'll just quit out in a second. But then there's another loading screen for when you actually try to go into a zone. Like this. You can turn it like this. I was just doing this with the thumbstick left and right, and it was causing the fucking warp thing. And then there's another one for going back to Pioneer 2. Like that. You can do the same thing. Whoa! So yeah. I'll probably leave that on for tomorrow's stream because I forgot to turn. I wanted to show that off. I had planned it, but I totally forgot. I wanted to show it off on at least this first stream. I'll leave it on for tomorrow's so that we can experience, you know, some extra bit of nostalgia. A little bit because the loading screens are still pretty fast. They're still pretty fast, so it's not going to make too much of a difference. But that's probably a good thing because then we can experience the nostalgia without actually having to sit there like. Okay, any day now, you know? Because, yeah, I remember when I played on GameCube, those loading screens lasted way longer. Way longer than that. Like, for example, the sound effect you hear on this one. When you exit or enter a quest. That's not the right one. What the oh, it's because it took me back to the lobby. Well, the one that plays when you actually start the damn thing. Here. This one lasts the longest. Even when it's optional like that, you know? But this one is the one I mean. This loading screen. See that sound? That would play like 5 times. Because it loops. Right there, I was about to do it again. So it goes bam, bam, and then bam, bam, and it just keeps doing that like over and over. It's a very short loop, but it loops like 5 or 6 times on the GameCube, basically. Before you actually get into the quest. There was very long loading screens back in the day. But yeah, as you can see, you know, even if you turn on the loading screens with that chat command like I just did, it's still, they're still not that long because, well, almost any modern PC can run this game pretty fucking fast because it's such an old game, you know, from the early to mid 2000s. So, anyway, that was it. I just wanted to, that was just a little cherry on top, something I remembered at the last minute. So I'll leave those on for tomorrow so we can have that little bit of extra nostalgia for next stream. But for now, I gotta go. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the support across Twitch and YouTube, and any other platform you might see me on. Oh, there was another loading screen. I forgot about that one. So there is another one when you're like going back to the title screen. Here we go. But yeah, I'm going to bed, so thank you very much. And as I always say, please take care of yourselves, look after each other, stay safe, and don't die. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. And I will see you all then. Peace. Whew, I talked my ass off for this one. Holy shit. Whew.
Bitch.